G'day guys, my name's Des. I'm from Body Fit Training in Brighton. So I just want to talk to you about interpreting your scan results when you get your actual sheet and what it means. So when you're looking at the sheet, there's a couple of things that we do want to disregard completely. So we don't want to worry about our body weight at all. That's not a true indication of what is being represented by our body, as we want to look a little bit deeper into what those numbers mean. So the first column on the left-hand side, you're going to see everything pertaining to lean body mass and skeletal muscle mass. So that skeletal muscle mass is a really good indication of your longevity of life and health. Having a good amount of skeletal muscle mass is really important for injury prevention, for strength, and for bone density. So you'll see in the brackets just next to those main numbers, there'll be an optimal range for your personal stats. And then next to that, in the main column of it, you'll see what your numbers are and whether you're sitting in the optimal range, high or low. So it's just an indication of where we can sort of adjust our focus should we need to. Now in that second column, what you'll see is everything pertaining to fat. So fat's broken down into two regions. So you've got subcutaneous and visceral. The visceral fat is the unhealthy fat that we line our organs. It's a precursor to type 2 diabetes, to cardiovascular disease, to illnesses and comorbidities. The subcutaneous fat is the one that sort of sits under our skin. For me, it sits sort of right here on the belly or on the thighs, and it's the one that we don't really like the look of on ourselves when people are like, oh, I want to lose some fat, or I want to lose weight, or I want to lean out. That's generally the one we're talking about. It doesn't have much of a purpose other than more of a reserve or a bank for some calories. So that's the fat there. Now with the visceral has a scale of 1 to 20 with anywhere from 1 to 9 being a balanced finding. And then with your subcutaneous fat, that is going to be very dependent on your individual circumstances. Now fat is very commonly referred to or broken down into a body fat percentage. Now the body fat percentage is just a percentage of fat within your body to everything else. Now, if you were to lose body fat and keep your muscle the way it is or the level that it's at, what you will have is a lower body fat percentage. If you were to lose fat and muscle at the same rate, your body fat percentage will stay the same. And should you maintain fat and increase your muscle mass, your body fat percentage will actually decrease again, because that fat is a percentage to everything else in the body. A couple of other things we want to look at on our scans is where you've got the BMR and the TDE. So with the BMR, it stands for your basal metabolic rate. Basal metabolic rate is what your body needs for cellular function at a base level. So that is not even sleeping, that's comatose. So that is for cellular function, that's for brain function, that's for organ and liver function, for breathing, just base cellular function throughout the body. The second you open your eyes, you step out of bed, you walk down the street to get a coffee, you're burning extra calories. So that is going to be additional on top of your BMR. So when we are dieting, it's really important that we never go lower than our BMR, because that's a really good way to make sure that we're not going to get the nutrients or the energy and the fuel that we need to actually survive and to perform. Under that, the TEE, the total energy expenditure, based on what you've put into the scan as your activity levels and your personal stats, that's going to give you a rough guide of what you need to maintain where you currently are. So when dieting, whether you're trying to diet down or diet up, so dieting down referring to ideally losing some body fat, and dieting up, ideally putting on some muscle mass. Dieting down, we want to eat in a very slight deficit to our TEE. And for dieting up, we want to eat in a slight calorie surplus above our TEE. A couple other things we want to look at is we want to look at the biological age on our scans. So with the biological age on the scans, it's going to take into consideration, yes, our chronological age, so how long I've been on this planet, but it's also going to take into consideration the health of my organs, the health of my body. And yes, I'm 30 years old. When I do my scan, I ideally want my biological age to be less than 30. So when we're looking at our scan, that's going to give us a really good indication of what stream to fit in. So whether that's stream A, stream B, or stream C, or whether it's the two plant-based streams. And then I can look at that and I can marry up what my TEE is compared to each of those streams. At the bottom of the scan, you'll have your nutritional content. So you've got your, based on what your goals are, whether it's general health, fat loss, or muscle gain, you're going to have a different nutritional breakdown. Total calories are going to be there depending on what your goal is and taking into consideration your TEE. That's what we're trying to eat within. So if I look at that and on mine, if that says 2,400 calories, great. I know that I'm in stream C because that fits within the brackets of stream C. I can follow the meal plan for stream C, and ideally that's going to match up with the protein, the carbohydrate, and the fat contents within the scan as well. Now, looking at that, I may need to adjust them a little bit just to meet my personal needs. So I might need to look at increasing that protein just a tad, but looking at from day to day, have a chat with your coaches because they'll be able to walk you through each individual process for that. Cheers.